So hello friends, I am Neeraj. Hope you are doing great. So in the previous session we have seen so far how easily we can implement stack navigation and we can add some real charm to our UI. Okay. So in today's session we will do something really interesting and something really very useful. So in web development we have anchor tags, and with anchor tags we pass on some URL, and along with URL we can also have the flexibility to pass on some additional parameters, whether it's a query string or as in terms of root parameters. Okay, so we will try to achieve the same functionality while navigating from one screen to other. So we will see how we can pass on the parameters from one screen to other. Okay, so maybe there could be a situation, for example, say if we click on contact us, so we need to pass on some ID, or maybe it could be you are building a product catalog and you need to pass whenever user clicks on the product title or product image from the catalog, so you need to pass the one ID so that it would call API call, appropriate API call, and could get the relevant data. So that thing we will see in today's session. Okay, so without wasting much time, so let's dive into the coding stuff. So right now we have only our home screen and our contact screen. And by the way, like in today's session also, so we will create our this contact this about button also working. So I will duplicate it out, and we will name it, we will give a name to, let's say, about, and we with the component would be our about component. Okay, so it got auto imported, and we will dive into the file for this about.tsx file. So here we have put a screen, about a screen, and from the home screen, so here we can say very simply just like this one. So I will copy this out, and here we can paste it, the on press event, and in the on press event we can simply have to pass the name of the screen. So the name of the screen was about. Now let it be refreshed, and when it is done, so when user clicks on the about, so we are into our about screen. Perfect. So that thing is working. And but the thing is, we need to have the flexibility so that we can pass some data, from some additional data, to our about page, so that we can that about screen could add on its own functionality. So by the way, let's just we are using this navigation navigation. So navigation object, and this navigation is having this navigate method, and this navigate method can take additional stuff as well. Here we can pass on the additional JSON object. Okay, and here we can say, for example, say we have to pass an ID, and ID could be, let's say, 1 2 3, and we can also pass on maybe some name, a name, and let's say name is Avinash. Let's save it. Why there is an error? Okay, I wrote accidentally, we wrote a additional. Okay, so actually we have to pass this as an object. Okay, so now whenever user clicks on this about one, so all this parameter would pass on here. But how can we see that? So in order to see that, we will dive into our about.tsx file, and here we can simply it passes each and everything as a props. So first let us try to see what props is providing. Okay, so the moment, and let us also reload it. Okay, and now when user clicks on this about us, so actually it is returning a full props, whatever props it is returning, and we can see that here. So if we check it on the terminal, console terminal, so it gives, so by default all these props are available. So navigation, and it also has a route and a route prop, and there are other stuffs. So this is what we will destructure. So first let us go that way, a very plain way. So here we can simply write it like props dot navigation. Okay, so we can also access it that way, or we can destructure it as well. So for example, say we need to display, we can say we can have some text here, text, and here we can write props. Actually first I will I am explaining the actual way, and then we will see that how we can instead of writing the whole stuff, we can write it in a very short form. So props dot route dot, it is having a attribute params, and then we can have the name. So the moment we write it, and let us see what happens. So okay, so fine. So when user clicks on it, clicks on about one, and we are having whatever the Avinash was passed on from the home one, from where we navigated. So if we change it to something like, let's say my full name Neeraj Avinash, and let us see that one again. So let us click on it. So we are getting it correctly, and we can also print out the ID. So let us duplicate it, and let us call it here name, and here call it ID. Okay, and here we will change it to from name to ID. Okay. Okay, so we are getting the output. We are able to collect the ID value and the name parameter which was passed. But instead of writing this in a very long way, actually we can very easily destructure it. So we can destructure it very easily like this, and here we can pass on root, and instead of writing this whole stuff, we can now say route.params.id, and we will be having the same effect. Okay, so actually it is up to you, whichever way you are comfortable with. So I prefer to go by the long way, because we might need, however there could be a situation, for example, if we know in advance, so whatever things we are going to achieve, we are going to use, so we can destructure it as well. So it helps in some occasions. Also we will also see how we can pass on some like so this is an about, and what if we can override it. So in order to override it, that is also very easy. So by default, for example, say we want that our name should be about, but this title instead of about, let's say we need to say this is about a screen. So it takes on other prop, that is options, and inside options, so we can pass on the full-fledged JSON object, and there is a attribute called title. So we can pass on title, and for title, wait a second. So in title, let's say we can pass on this is about page, about a screen, call it a screen. Okay, so right now, although, so you can see that you can please try to understand it, try to give some attention that when user click on about, so actually like when we call it from when we try to navigate from one screen to other, we have to pass on the name of the screen as a parameter to the navigation.navigate method. Okay, so we are doing the same thing from here. So we are passing about while in the navigate method, but we want it that to the title, the page, the screen title should be showing us this is about a screen. So we should see, we should get that. So yes, we are able to navigate to that about a screen with the changed page title. So I think this is really interesting and really beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed the session. And as always, so all the code would be in you can find it in my GitHub account for your future reference. So I also suggest you to go to the this documentation, and there are many things which you can give it a try, and you can play with it, and definitely that actually I think that that is the best way to play with stuff, so that we can have a better and thorough understanding. Okay, so till then, take care and happy coding.